22, Saturday, 22 of March of 2025, 8:16 p.m. at night, and I'm gonna try to practice a little bit of English just to keep avoiding to lose my maybe pronunciation, etc. Maybe communicate or reach more audience, or maybe not reach, maybe some people that don't understand very well Spanish that I have in my contact. Maybe if they see this, they can understand what I'm talking about, and so many of these things that I'm following up, I'm making a follow-up of many subjects, many areas of interest of mine, and this is more exercise, like a record, like a register, a little bit of how you want to say, some type of record of things that are happening around the world, but especially in Mexico, maybe the United States. And when I have this with music, 17, right? 18, Friday 22nd of March. And well, it's been a long time since I uploaded the last English video, There has been many things happening in these weeks. I'm gonna talk a little bit about it. I usually don't like to go into politics, speak about politics, because I don't like the way politics are heading in these last few years. There's been a lot of propaganda, lies, half-truths, manipulations, and all these situations that has nothing to do with good politics, with the essence of politics, in my point of view. There's a lot of lies in Mexico right now, in many ways. Lie, and there are a pile of lies in Mexico that is insane. This situation with the Isaguirre ranch, it was off the hook with the levels of manipulation, half-truth, gross, very gross. Very gross, and it just shows people how the situation is crazy. It's crazy, and it's so sickening, because many people here are just, I don't know, they I don't even know what to say. It's insane. That's insane. The lack of respect for victims, the lack of respect for the memories of people that have died, the lack of respect for human dignity in this country is sickening. It's very sick. And now they're saying that it was on the hoax, etc., but it's gross. The level of insanity here is really bad. It's really sad, because in Mexico the situation is so gross that some people use it as leverage, human suffering, these situations that are very painful for many people, and they try to use it for the corruption, for their own gain, their own corruption gain. It's off the hook. I mean, it's insane to be honest with you. So think about all the situations surrounding this situation is very sad. It's very sad because we are seeing many situations handled very poorly. For example, they are putting here that they found this hole in the ground where they allegedly burned people there, the bodies. What they did was just put it with concrete. Just close the hole with concrete. It's in a very what happened with the so-called evidence, right? And they're supposed to do some research, some investigation, some tests, gather some anything from there, right? Like DNA or anything, whatever. But it's so gross, the manipulation, that the way they handle this situation is sick. Is from only sick people can try to use all these situations for whatever reason they want to, and that's a very, it's disgusting. That's the word, disgusting. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I mean, I'm not saying this picture is true, right? I'm just saying that all these situations, how this situation is being handled, is insane. And yeah, I mean, I saw the other day people cursing, literally cursing, saying curses against, for example, this Republican Congress in the United States, this Republican, I think is the right and I even this, I think this Republican using the term Auschwitz to resemble these situations happening at least in Mexico. And I saw even the media, people in the media insulting and cursing, using curse words, bad words against this. They didn't say the name, but they cursed and insulted the person that used it, the Auschwitz reference, using it to compare what's happening in Mexico. Literally curse insults. I saw it in the media, in Mexican media. I mean, these people, I don't know if they're sick, they're probably sick in their heads. I don't know. I literally heard people insulting, cursing all the people that use it from Auschwitz to refer to this Jalisco massacre situation. They literally were insulting these persons that use it, that did it, they use the word Auschwitz to refer as a comparison with what happened in Jalisco. I mean, it's not just Jalisco, it's the whole country. The whole fucking country is in a very bad state. I mean, I was blown away to see literally media people talking in the news, in a show, in a news show in Mexico, from Mexico, insulting, cursing those that used the Auschwitz term to refer to this massacre. I mean, it was excellent. It's next level insanity, this country. I mean, I don't know what's happening there. These people are insane. I mean, literally, I don't know, they're sick. They're sick in their heads or something. I don't understand how a normal person will go as far as that. Or maybe they're also terrorists. Maybe they're also terrorists as well. Maybe a terrorist, maybe. The way they are so insensible to the pain and loss of people that really have went through this kind of tragedies, of disappearances, of of not finding their family members, and looking and finding mass graves in many places in the country. And the answer that you get from these people is insulting those that use the Auschwitz term. I mean, is that the level? I mean, I don't know. If that's not insanity, if that's not being sick in the head, I don't know what it is. I really don't know. I really don't know what it is. And yeah, they even some people, I mean, real human beings that are not sick, they don't say that they don't understand why YouTubers went apparently to the place to report, and they even say that it was they had to be there, and they trying to look for views or whatever. I mean, the way that they lost sight of what really matters here, that it is suffering, the death, people that are dying, human suffering, and they think and take this situation into YouTubers, into this, I'm gonna curse this guy that uses the Auschwitz term, and I'm going to say that this political party, I mean, these people are sick in the head. They're literally sick in the head. If they lost sight, if they lose sight of what is the problem, the real problem here, it is not the Jalisco Ranch. It is not the Jalisco Ranch. I said it a million times. See, it is a problem that is all over the country. Some human rights civil organizations and collectives of people that seek, and others that seek, I mean, no search for the kids or missing loved ones. Some people of these organizations, some people talk about 7,000 mass graves. I don't know how many people are into this grave. The guy that used the term Auschwitz, because how dare they use the term Auschwitz, and the killings and the people dying and the disappearances, the people disappearing, doesn't matter. They only care that they are angry because someone used the Auschwitz. I mean, if that person is not sick in the head, I don't know. What is wrong with those persons? Something is very wrong with these people. Very, very fucked up. And another person talking about YouTubers and that they went there and that they interviews, and who cares? The point here is not that the YouTubers and whatever. The point here is that Mexico has a big problem with disappearances. 124,000 people disappearing, approximately 30,000 people disappear each day. Today, from yesterday to today, to the video from yesterday to today, 30 people have disappeared in Mexico. But no, that does not matter. The thing that matters is who uses the Auschwitz terms. How dare they? Another person, I mean, what are they doing, the YouTubers in this place? I mean, that's what really angers these sick people. I mean, just imagine how sick in their heads they have to be to get angry about these things and not the thing that really matters. And this country is gone. It's gone. The lack of respect, the lack of human dignity, human decency, the lack of human decency is fucked up in this country. I mean, really. I mean, I think that so much violence for decades has fucked the people's head. I mean, I don't think everyone. I think the media is fucked. Politicians, many are fucked. Some politicians even deny that the shoes were even real. Some people even question if this was real. I mean, I don't know, these people is gone. This part gone. It's just insane. Insane. Even Najib Khaled have come forward seeing this madness. I mean, he probably saw all this madness and said, what the hell is going on in Mexico? I mean, he probably said, what the fuck is going on? I think he even expressed some concern about it. He said, you just don't state by state. He probably saw something and said, what the hell is going on over there? It's crazy. I mean, it's just, that's why this is why I don't see Mexican news. I don't watch the news in Mexico because it goes to insanity many times. I don't watch the news because it's very, it's a very twisted situation happening at least from 2006 till today. We have a very serious problem as well in Mexico with this situation. This, I don't know how to call it, this dynamic, this toxic dynamic that happens in the media, in politics. I mean, it's not everyone, but there's something very effed up about this. I mean, next level. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. I mean, it's very effed up. It's very effed up. I don't know, something's very, very off. I usually try to see all the news from this situation happening in Jalisco from international news media, because I don't trust in national media. I think almost every single national media is not good, is not okay. I mean, it's off. Something is off. So I try to see all the international media. I put El País in Spanish. I put Telebunda, that is North America, and I try to put news media from other countries because in these situations I don't trust at all. In this news media, in these politicians, I don't trust at all. And it was very, very sad situation happening with all this situation. I mean, this is about what? You know, like the WHO world. And it's a politician in Mexico. They use WHORE. That's that WHORE. That word is this word that is right there. It's that word. And that is some politician in Mexico. It's insults, nonsense, very insane insensibility, lack of respect for others, lack of empathy. I don't know, it's not cool. It's not okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like this, you know, everyone sees it, you know, maybe in the United States of America, I have many friends of the United States of America, maybe they don't understand it. Maybe some maybe do, some speak Spanish, maybe, I don't know if they are reporting all these nonsense. I don't think they really want to, because who wants to talk about all this, right? But it's very toxic, the ambience and all the situation in Mexico. Since 2016 till today, everything has gone to hell, went to hell. You know, the politics went to hell, the media went to hell. So from 2016 to now, we are not fully recovered from all the madness. I think the United States is recovering from madness. Are recovering from many madnesses. With the corruption and all this, in Mexico we are not recovering yet. We are not have even begun to recover yet. We still see all these situations happening, and it's sad. I mean, it's sad. Don't get me wrong. It's sad to see this reality. It's very, very, very heartbreaking to see how this situation happens in the media, in the news, and politics. Of course, not in the people. You go into the real world, the real people out there in the streets. And many of them think different than the media. in politics, and all these situations that go with the metrics I say with this situation is very awful to see. And yeah, I mean, it's not handled well in situations. Yeah, I mean, it's so very, very, very mishandled. I mean, criminally mishandled all the situations over there. I mean, I don't see, I didn't cover you see that. Did you see that moment when they put concrete into the evidence? There are people saying that they're actually putting concrete into the evidence. That's what people are saying. And that's just next level crazy. Next level crazy. Yeah, some people say Mexican, but you know, in Mexican, some Mexican reporters after in the media in Mexico, they insult people who use these terms, you know, Holocaust athletes. But that's what matters to those sick people, you know. They don't care about this. They only care about and feel offended because someone used Holocaust athletes. But they don't care about anything like that. It's next level insanity. Well, I mean, I was shocked when I saw that guy in the media talking and felt enraged and how dare they not use the outfits. Oh my God, it's just so, I mean, imagine that's what bothers these people instead of really caring for people dying in this case or even disappearing. That's the level of insanity of some people in the media and in politics, you know. Some politicians question that the shoes were not even real, and they start to say that everything is hoax, and they don't care about the pain of the people and all this. The 525,000 people disappearing, 30,000 each day. That doesn't matter for this asshole, right? It doesn't matter, right? They only care about, you know, hoaxing and all this shit. I'm sorry for the word, but it's just, it's there, wow, it's insane. You don't believe it until you see it. You do not believe it until you see it. You really do not believe it until you see it, right? So, yeah, I think you can say something because I don't know if you heard something, he said something, he saw the news, maybe he saw something that he did not understand. He probably did not understand why this situation is not handled. He didn't say it many times. It is impossible that any state, any government or army cannot address criminality. That's what he said. In general terms, that's what he said. He cannot believe that any state or any government cannot handle criminality. And he even implied that there might be something else, some collusion or something else going on. That's what he said. That's what he said. And it's very difficult to believe that Mexico cannot fix this problem many years, decades. Yeah, it's very awful to feel that well. And yeah, you have people denying that the shoes, who can you be sure that the shoes are shoes and that the shoes are from victims and the shoes are for this and that, doesn't matter. But they go to other countries to do these stupid talks when this very situation is happening in Mexico. They prefer to go to some other country these politicians to talk, and instead of seeing how to fix this big brother, that's the situation right now. Many people are disgusted, of course, you see. I'm not the only one saying that this is disgusting. There are people that actually don't understand that this is sickening. Of course, this lady is saying that she feels so ashamed from this country. How can you not feel ashamed of this spectacle out of suffering, this situation going sideways instead of focusing on what really matters, that is human suffering, people dying, people disappearing, finding these persons, finding the responsibles, bringing justice to those people that are dead, finding the remains, bringing to a dignifying finally closure for all these people looking for their families. That doesn't matter for these people, for some sick people in the movie, politicians. I mean, it's awful. I mean, corruption is awful. This lady is bringing, she's expressing disgusting, feeling ashamed from this government. You know, many people we are like that. You know, real people, we are ashamed, we are disgusted, we feel sick in the stomach when we see these situations. And it's not very good when you see it in the news. But, yeah, and even Amnesty International was issuing a statement because it was awful. It's awful. The radicalization is awful. I mean, some situations are awful, of course. When Amnesty International says something about it, they are really don't like some situations happening. This situation, yeah, but I saw a post in that. Yeah, but it's one situation that I'm not very cool, very well. You have to be even careful with these situations happening, because you don't know. This is tragedy of many situations going on in this kind of tragedies. Sometimes we try to use it for political gain or something like that. And you just have to be careful to see all these situations, because the internet is like that. The internet is like that. You cannot trust everything you see online. You cannot trust everything online. But the disgusting part is that using this kind of subject or situation of tragedies, whatever purpose you believe it is to get some gain for whatever it is, that is it. That is just wrong. Sometimes that's what you see. Sometimes, so that's very sad. I think people does not deserve that. No one deserves that spectacle, that insensibility, that not dignifying treatment, that victimization of people. I mean, everything around it can be so awful, right? And yeah, it's very, very awful. I even the second day that they were talking about this, I immediately recognized that they were trying to do something bad about it, to mix the narrative, to create some lies, to manipulate, to twist. I immediately saw it when I see this apparently live from the back interview in a very awful media in Mexico. Some guy with black from the back interview saying all this, allegedly saying all this nonsense. I mean, it's very gross. The level of manipulation, very, very gross. Disrespectful, dignifying, re-victimizing the victims, lacking of respect from the death of all the suffering. I mean, it's nasty, nasty. Next level nasty. You might see this or that or whatever, but that is of the level of nastiness of insanity. That's next level. Next level. Yeah, I say it many times in Spanish. It is not the Isaguirre ranch the problem. It is not just that ranch. It is not about the ranch. It is not about exclusively Jalisco. It is not about this specific case. The issue is more big. It's bigger. It happens in all Mexico. These mass graves. Hundreds of people in each of these mass graves. It's 124,000 people disappearing. 30 persons disappearing each day. From the video of yesterday to today, 30 more persons disappeared. And no one gives a damn about it. They only care about the political game, not having the take responsibility from the political realm. Somehow these politicians are the victims because there are hoaxes, there are many millions of dollars used to destabilize, to create this narrative, to attack my government. Somehow, despite all the suffering and all the deaths and all the suffering from many families in Mexico, this terrorism, these awful situations, somehow politicians in the government or also political power is the victim of all this. I mean, it's just, I mean, you just stay like, what the hell? And it's really next level to say. Yeah, I mean, and just in less than a week, they captured someone that is responsible for all this aggressive stuff, everything. That's the guy responsible in less than a week, less than 1 week. And who's going to believe that? In just 1 week after they take years, people are talking about that ranch was being working since 2012. Some people say that probably as far back as 2012, the ranch was operating with these terrorists. And somehow, magically, in just 1 week, after this was public internationally, 1 week, and they caught the responsible. I mean, oh my god. Oh my god, it's just, oh my god, it's gross. I mean, it's, oh my god, it's just, oh my god. No, I mean, wow, I mean, you just, you are speechless, you don't know if to laugh, to cry. I mean, you might from 2012, nothing happened, no one talked about this, no one said nothing, and these people talking about as far as 2012, I don't know, I mean, just think about that, and it's crazy, right? Thinking about people talking about as far as back as probably 2012, some people, this was found in 2024, in September 2024. They did nothing from September to a few weeks back, and magically in just 1 week they got someone. Who's going to believe that? Who's going to trust in that? Who is going to trust in that? I mean, we have these type of issues in Mexico. At least from 2006, the many investigative reporters that have been writing books, making documentaries about all these situations happening in Mexico. At least since 2009 and 10, we have excellent investigative reporters, writing books, making documentaries, talking to the press, talking to civil organizations, talking to the UN, many meetings starting with the UN, many institutions going on. We haven't looked through that. Many investigations of what's going on in Mexico. Many people realize what's going on in Mexico since 2016. These mass graves, these disappearances, these dead migrants dying in San Fernando, Tamaulipas. maybe I don't know, maybe eventually like this one's operating system does not exist. And maybe even before, because we have the Marcos of Juarez, not Juarez, ladies dying. I was a kid, and since I was a kid, I remember seeing the news and talking about Juarez and all these women dying. The famous Marcos of Juarez, the deaths of Juarez. This many women dying in Juarez and protests, and many situations happening in the 90s in the news. And it never happened anything. Nothing happened, since that time. Nothing happened. But now this goes international in just 1 week. Magically someone got some, they're responsible for everything. It's just unbelievable. I'm just saying that it's happening. But Amnesty International in Mexico issued these threats. You see, Amnesty International expresses its concern for the unifying treatment of the family of the people of the disappearing persons in their visit to the Rancho Izaguirre, Jalisco. The absence of authorities, the possible irregularities in the handling of the evidence, and the lack of dialogue with the families are unacceptable. We demand the FBR Mexico and FBR Jalisco guaranteed and dignified treatment, transparency on investigation, access to justice, and it was caught the attention of Amnesty International in Mexico, at least. And family members of this person, the family of the disappearing person, families, mothers that are looking for their families that are missing, they said that they accused that the authorities pulled the caso the case, the Dostoyevsky case, into a media show. Besides, they reported that they tried to victimize families of the disappearing persons, and Izaguirre Ranch became a TV host. And you have one of the mothers are going through this very difficult situation, complaining about this awful treatment. That's what the media reported. The financiering, another media safe, another interview with one of the mothers that are looking for the family, missing family members. They're saying that the first time that they entered, they encountered a mess. There was blood in the rooms. There were a lot of clothes in the floor. The bathrooms were dirty. It was filled with papers, cups, and plates everywhere. Detailed one of the leaders of the collective, Madres Buscadoras de Jalisco. Her name is, she said this to the meeting. It's very it's very sad, the situation, the horror of the situation. And as some person says, the degradation of the public TV, overcomes every day their own limits, and it's disgusting, to be honest. I've seen these kind of shows, and they are horrified because someone used the how shoot term. How dare they to use how shoot? How dare they to use that term in Mexico? There were millions of people in Auschwitz. There are only a few hundreds. Like, doesn't matter if it's just one. even if it were just one, two, every life matters. But these assholes, pieces of shit, they our rights because they use their own shit terms. How dare they? And all these people dying doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to these assholes. It's disgusting. It's very, very, very disgusting. I wish I could not. I do not speak about this in my social media. I have to register these matters in my social media to see what kind of situation we are dealing with in this country. It's sick. This fucked up media, this fucked up politician, doesn't matter about these people are suffering. They don't care. They don't care. They are more concerned about their political careers. They're more concerned about their money, their fucked up media, news station, their jobs. It's awful. I mean, this happens in many places around the world. Sadly happened in the United States and other parts of the world. I'm not going to say countries, but it happens in many places, sadly. But this level of these types of very sensitive situations, I have not seen it happening in other places. I mean, in the United States, this type of situation happens with other situations less serious, like some Tesla's building. Well, it's not lives, so it's just material stuff. But here we're talking about human lives, human dignity, about basic decency that we are seeing, we don't see in media, politicians, some people in the island. Is next level, next level. And that's why I don't see Mexican news. I don't see Mexican news. I have said it for at least 4 or 5 days in Spanish. Do not watch this follow-up in Mexican news, but watch all this follow-up in international news, because international news are more respectful, are more serious, are more measured. They are more. They don't go. They don't jump the gun, and they're more slow. They try to be respectful. The normal, the things that you respect in any media, any low level, high level, whatever level media, you respect a little bit of decency, that little bit of going slow, don't jump the gun, but in Mexico it hurts my stomach. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Just think about this assholes, saying all these things. I mean, I really feel like I'm strong. I feel right here like the feeling. I feel like I'm about to throw up. Thinking about just to hear some people talking about it. Sadly, this, I have to say this, I wish I did not have to speak about this, because I don't like it. It is so gross, and at least I have to say something, because it's so twisted, and this is making a very important situation that everyone needs to be aware that this is the way things happen in Mexico, sadly, and it's wrong. It's wrong. But this is the level of insanity going on in Mexico. This from 2006, no, maybe not 2006, yeah, 2006 to today. Everything went rotten in 2006. And the level of rottenness is thinking like you have no idea. And yeah, even some other media, talked about it, it's very distasteful. I'm saying that many media is bad. Of course, not all the media is bad. It's not bad. In time, but you have to be very careful with Mexican media, because you don't know. You don't always know. Sometimes they go evil. They go very far off. great wall of tracks, in a very disgusting way. So many times. So this is why with all these creatures in Mexico, you always have to be very careful with the media, because they go next level of insanity when they go off tracks, when they go over, and same thing with politics. Sometimes they go just far off of tracks, able, and very badly, very badly. Yeah, yeah, sadly, this is going on with this subject. I've seen many times in my social media. It's not about Jalisco, it's not about the disabled line, it's not about the street line, it's not about just that case. It's a very generalized problem in Mexico. We're talking about more like 5,000 mass graves, or maybe 7,000 mass graves, with hundreds of bodies everywhere in the country. Everywhere. They have found some these type of collectives of mothers that see their families in family. They have found them in Zacatecas, in Tamaulipas, in Guanajuato, in Jalisco, in Veracruz. I mean, it's a problem that happens everywhere, in many parts of the country. It's not just Jalisco the problem. It's just a tip of the iceberg of something that has happened since 2006 and goes as far back as maybe the 70s. Yeah. It's unbelievable that it's been decades and decades, and the situation is only getting worse. It's not about politics. It is not about politicians. It is not about media or money of the media or any personal gain. It's about having justice. Finding justice for those families, helping those families to find their loved ones wherever they are, to seek justice, and to seek that this did not happen again, and to understand and to find the reason why this has been happening, why this has happened for many years with nothing. I mean, if the mothers that are seeking their family, their missing family members, do not come forward with the media or the press at the international level, come forward and say, talk about this discovery that they found in the road, these human remains, these clothes, all this evidence of people dying in there. This training camp of the death, of horror, of torture, of killing, disappearing people. If those persons, these mothers that are seeking their family members, talk about this publicly, the government did not say anything. They don't do anything. It is the public pressure, the international pressure that is making this government do this. They don't do shit. It is the international pressure that has led them to do this, sadly. And now the government has the obligation to seek justice for the people and the families that are in this terrible situation, this painful situation. So it is not about how it's going. It is not about how it's going on. It's about the whole damn country. That does not find many of these situations, and no one does nothing. The authorities do not do shit. And they will not have to do any shit here if it is not for the fact that the mother of the hospital family members came up forward publicly talking about we found this. And the government knew about this place since 5th September of 2024. They didn't even hold this place. They didn't even secure the place properly. They did not investigate. They don't care. And it is not because of the family members saying they found all this and that, right? This goes into a movie. And it is not about Jalisco only, it's not about the ranch. That's not the point. The point here is why the authorities don't do shit like this. We have mass graves in many places since 2006, maybe before. They never do anything. They haven't even solved the 43 Ayotzinapa murder the case. They have not even fixed and found anything there. Crying out loud. How many more do we need these people to care? Do something, and how many more people that they need? I mean, this level of not caring is demon level. I mean, these people are maybe demons. They rejoice maybe when so many people die because they don't do shit. I don't know if they're demons or they're human beings. I don't know what they are. It's unbelievable that this is happening in Mexico for many decades, and it does not stop. Every single time we keep finding this crap, this terrible situation going on in many places. It's so awful to think about. Very awful. Yeah, I mean, it's so awful to think that there's 124,000 people missing. Some people even are victims of the state. The state sometimes is the one causing this pain. In terms of, for example, what happened with these two students who went to Nuevo León from Monterrey, that they were killed by the army and they were manipulated the crime scene and they put guns in their hands. They believed people that they were criminals when they were just students, and killed in the university, in the college, outside in the door, and they tried to sell the lie that they were criminals. That was what the state of Mexico did in 2010, 18 of March 2010, outside the Monterrey. Two students killed, unarmed by the army. The crime scene tampered, they put guns in their hands and they said that they were criminals. What kind of monsters is this situation going on? What the hell? 43 Ayotzinapa students killed as well. They say complicity between the state and the narco-terrorists. And they have not given anything, they have not done anything about that. I mean, what much more do we need for this? I don't know what it is, I don't know if it's the state, I don't know, do something. It's insane. Insane. It's like witnessing hell on earth. It's witnessing hell on earth. Literally, it's like witnessing hell on earth. There are no other words to put it. I don't find any other words to put it, like hell on earth. 100,024 people missing. Who knows how many people is dead in these mass graves? More than 5,000. 5,000. Some people even tell about 7,000 in many states in Mexico. It's not just Jalisco. Many states. And that the ones that we know of. Who knows how many more mass graves are out there that we don't know of? We do not know. And no one lives at them. in what kind of place, in what kind of society, authorities, people does not give a damn about something like that. What place is that? I mean, the only thing I can think of is some less of hell, I don't know. And there are mothers seeking their loved ones that they have been spending years, mothers seeking their missing families, their dead ones for years, and they are alone. They do it alone. The authorities do not help. They don't care. What kind of monsters do that? What kind of monsters are these? And they even suffer dangers and risks. Some mothers that are seeking their disappeared loved ones or dead ones, some mothers even are killed. Some mothers, because they're looking for their family members, some mothers have died because they're doing that. Some terrorists do not like that. These are monsters. These are terrorists and monsters. Evil demons. They're not human beings, they're monsters. And there have been cases where mothers that are seeking their loved ones are killed because some monsters or terrorists do not like it. But they're finding information that are very uncomfortable for these terrorists, these corrupt people. That's what happens in Mexico. That's what happens. It's just very effort. Very effort. Years of this, this kind of, I don't know how to say it, this insanity, this hell happening people in Mexico. I mean, it's very sad to see. It has reached the bottom of the bottom line. I mean, Mexico has reached the bottom line of this situation. It's really the bottom line. The bottom line. Yeah, I mean, there are some organizations in Mexico that try to support these people, going through all these situations that are very often very distasteful, very sad. It's very sad. Mexico has reached the bottom. It cannot go more down because it's just the bottom. It has to do many things to prevent this, to change this awful situation. There's a lot of work to do in Mexico. There's a lot of commitment to work to do, to take this very seriously, to not victimize the victims, to treat them with dignity, to inform them very quickly, to have them very well informed, to keep them in the loop, working in the investigation. You cannot treat these persons as they are going to a tourism site, like they did with the hospital, with the ranch. Very distasteful how they organized that. It looked like it was some tour, like tourism, going in there, take your pictures and go out, like you pay 10 pieces in one place, like any tourist place, it was very distasteful how they handled that. To everyone, even to the spectator. I mean, doing that situation like that, it's very annoying, please. What kind of person, insensible person, would organize that? That spectacle. It was like a punch in the face. yeah, it makes you feel very ashamed of Mexico. Very, very ashamed of the authorities and all this stuff. Very, very, very ashamed. And this letter, this organization, this way some wealth to these persons that are suffering this violence. It's a very awful violence. And they even call it hell as well as I do. Right? Because there's no other word. I mean, I cannot find any other word than hell. Hell and hell. I cannot find any other word to describe it as hell or hell. I mean, there's no other word to express what's going on right now with all this. Decades. And they say that they are talking to those who do not seek permission to exist. They say, no, we're talking to those persons that seek not permission to exist. Because their existence itself is resistance. They don't ask for forgiveness by seeking or looking, because in their search there is the truth that the system wants to hide. Because we're facing an enemy that not just wants our lives, but our very future. We repudiate the discredit campaign and the criminalization that they do at the unison corrupt the governments and the criminal groups, terrorist groups against the mothers, fathers, and family that are looking for the loved one. Campaign that is addressed to generate conditions for repression by the governments of the narco-paramilitary, capable of making crimes against humanity, like the horror of the clandestine crematory of Teuchitlancanis. Even if they call it whatever they want to call it and pretend to justify criminalizing the people, it is a center of extermination. It is suffering, of course, it's suffering. I mean, this part of all this, letter, I mean, of course, it talks about Ayotzinapa, another living room. They are living rooms. And it talks about what's going on a little bit in Mexico. It's really sad. Many people see it, many real people, real Mexicans, we see all this suffering, and we are all very sad in our hearts. Because it's like looking hell. And it says that in the face of this hell, and many people see it, and it's just, I mean, there's no one who wants to help. Many people, not just women, many people were facing and seeing this in the media, seeing the family members crying, pouring out their hearts in pain, literally in pain. There's most horrifying pain that I could imagine. It's just the indolence, they don't care. I mean, how they handle this situation is sickening. It makes you feel like you can't tell what. I mean, that's the sensation you feel when you see this, and you're literally like you're watching hell on earth. It's like hell. And let's hope that it's more about the pain, about finding justice, about stop the killing, the disappearances in Mexico, stop the suffering in Mexico, many families, stop the numbers of going up from 124,000. It's unacceptable. Why this has happened for many years and nothing it has been done to really address, to stop, to handle the situation, because most of the things to prevent this. I mean, Bukele even came up forward and said it is not believable that any state cannot handle this criminality. It is not believable that they don't have the capability to crush the criminals, the terrorists. It is not believable. He said it, and he even went as forward as far as saying, "Or they're colluded, or they're part of the problem." That's what he said. That's what he said. I don't think he's completely wrong. I mean, it's unbelievable that has been decades and decades. But no, this is what's happening. What is going on with all this situation. I am going to repeat myself. It's not only about Jalisco. It's just one piece in the puzzle. There are many more problems in Mexico that are related to this big issue. And you just need to read books. You just need to go to investigative reporters, investigative journalists, read some many books, see some movies, documentaries. It's all public. It's all public. It's just about talking with people in the streets. And we will find out how this madness goes back as far as 2006 and even to the 70s and 90s. It's no secret, these are public information. There are many well documented situations. The UN knows about this. The UN has interviewed many witnesses talking about their experiences, their testimonies, and so often things happen here. The truth gets happen, and the president gets happen. And how the state is not able to bring justice. And we find even Tomás Herón torturing people to say lies, to create a narrative, a false narrative. You know, he is a fugitive from the Mexican state. He is in another country fugitive because he thought simple to say things that did not happen in the frontier of Ayotzinapa. That's the state. And now, how many more killing, how many more dead people, not here, just Mexico. The United States has also suffered from these criminals. 300,000 criminals died from fentanyl in the United States. In Mexico, we have 124,000 people dead, disappeared from these criminals. They go as far as to use job offerings. In Mexico, you cannot even look for a job without the risk of being tortured and killed. That's the level of sickness. Many people in this ranch and other places, they have been drawn up because they were offered jobs, like they were real jobs. And when they went to the interviews, they were kidnapped, and they were tortured and killed. How more suffering, how more madness do you need to do something? I don't get this state. What the hell is going on with this state? What the hell? What the freaking hell? I mean, I'm just ranting here because it's awful. And I'm just thinking about people talking about family members that went, they lost, they had family members disappear because they were a job interview, they not returned, they did not return. Family members does not know where their family members are because of this happened. And I'm not making this up. This was even as recently as a few months ago. And this also happened in Jalisco, in a bus station. They were offered job. These terrorists were giving job offers, real job offers, and they made an appointment with these people in the bus station. And these people disappeared. This is very recent. This is just a few months ago. September, the same dates, September, the same dates when they found this lunch, not more or less. government says that even in some cameras, they saw some guys going into some vehicles from lands, they just disappear off the face of the earth after that. This happened in the same day when they found the ranch. And this is the level of madness. The level of madness. And again, this information came out from the collective. So these people that investigate. This is part of the investigation. Some people say the government recognizes next time it's not part of the disappearances that the collective say for claims. And the bus station does not handle or delivers the videos, does not allow the people to see the videos. They hide the information, so they will collude maybe. The collective of seeking knowledge of models that are looking for the disappeared, they say that another obstacle that they have faced is the bus station negative or the refusal to hand over or to share the videos to the families. You see, they will withhold these videos to the families. These are criminals. These are criminals. They don't want to provide the video cameras. The justification they give to some families is because they are not they don't have the access. Everything went off control. We don't know why they're not giving them follow-up. They're not showing evidences, but the family is claiming that the last location was in that spot. You see, it's very awful in this situation. I mean, it's awful. But well, this is the typical right with everyone who reads books, who finds good sources of information, who listen to what the collectives are saying, who listen to what these similar organizations about human rights talks about, United Nations talk about. If you just pay attention to those reports, you see that this is just the tip of the iceberg. It is a situation that happens everywhere in Mexico, many places. It should not happen, but it does. And the government seems to doesn't care. It seems that they don't care. Well, this is an awful, sad truth in Mexico. A truth that has been going on for years, decades. It has gone too far off that even if you're looking for a job, you have the risk of disappearing. Just for looking for a goddamn job. Just to go into a goddamn job interview, you're facing the risk of Mexico to not return, to disappear. That's the level of effed up. You cannot even have a decent life going to work without worries, looking for work without worries, looking for a job without worries, because this situation is a sad reality, a sad possibility in this country. And you have politicians, instead of staying in Mexico, seeing what is going on, what they need to do to address the situation, what they can do to help mitigate this problem. No, they go to this stupid talk in Europe, and it is more important to go to Europe, because in Mexico everything is okay. No, let's go to Europe, have a talk, to have a vacation. I don't care what's going on. Mexico is burning down with friends. I can go vacation with friends to talk about something, To say that Mexico is so great, Mexico, wow, Mexico. When Mexico is burning down to the grave. I'm sorry, this is a rant. It was a rant completely. It just, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, it's just... I don't know, it's just... That's why I don't watch news anymore. I try not to watch news. In reality, it's like hell in many situations. And I think we lost humanity in some places. I think part of us, some part, I think some persons, have lost their humanity. They give the trouble for society. They're unable to feel empathy, unable to feel solidarity, to put in our person's shoes. The ignorance is sickening. Well, like I just said, it's a very awful situation in Mexico right now. And the media is not helping. The politics is not helping. It's very bad politics. I mean, they are going to trips to France to give some stupid talks, that no one cares. And the country burning down in flames. You have this problem going on with this situation in Jalisco. Some politicians don't care. They go to other countries to give talks in France, to have vacation. But the country is burning down in flames with the Jalisco situation. And I have showed here how many people is disgusted of all this media coverage, the media show, the TV show, the politician trying to make themselves the victims. Like, oh, it's just a campaign to discredit my government. I mean, oh my God. Oh my God. Imagine that. Instead of worrying about the real victims, about the family members of these persons disappeared or died, or dead maybe, instead of being empathic, of have solidarity, of put themselves in the shoes of those people, in their pain. No, they become themselves the victims, talking about this campaign to $80 million to attack my government from this opposition. That's sickness right there. That the situation is sick. Is something is not okay with persons expressing themselves like that, And some other politician that went to vacations to France to give a stupid talk, he even put into question the shoes, right? When you see the shoes, the image that came out from the ranch of the shoes. Some politician that went to vacations to France better because the country is everything okay. When you had the picture of the shoes, he even questioned them. Who says that those pictures and those shoes are from victims? I mean, really, that's what some politicians did. A politician in specific did. They don't care about the pain of the victims. They don't care about anything but themselves. They cannot see beyond their nose. That for me is just sickness, It's a mental disorder of some sort. Because you cannot be a human being, a normal human being, thinking like that. The first thing that a guy did was, how can you say that those shoes are from victims? I mean, he almost went as far to say that someone put there those shoes. He almost went as far to say that. And it is not the fucking shoes, right? It is not the fucking shoes. It is the truth, the sad truth, the problem, the issue of 124,000 missing people. 30 people goes missing, disappear every day, every 24 hours. These guys rather prefer to go to vacation to France, to go give a stupid talk that no one was even in the room. But they prefer to be over there on vacations, taking pictures of the churches, of the cathedrals. Because in Mexico everything is okay. Mexico, there are now these 5,000, some human rights associations, some mothers that are seeking their disappeared loved ones, the family members that they are missing in their families. Many mothers in these collectives talks about maybe between 5,000 mass graves where there may be hundreds of people dying, or maybe even up to 7,000 mass graves across the country that they have found. And God knows how many more mass graves are out there that we don't know. And each of these mass graves have maybe hundreds of or maybe 20, 30, 10 people dead in them. Who knows? God only knows. Plus the 124,000 disappeared people. We have the problem where the terrorists gave false job offers. They publish false job offers. And they go to interview these people. These people go and they disappear. And they force them to become criminals. They force them to kill each other. They torture them. And some politicians they better go off to France to take pictures of cathedrals because everything is okay in Mexico. Somehow other politicians, they try to become themselves the victims, somehow they are the victims in this very big issue. They say, no, well, some politicians say, no, they were spent $20 million in a campaign to attack my movement or whatever. How this problem that goes back decades is an attack. How can 124,000 disappeared people are an attack to the government? How is the pain of these families looking for their family members that are missing? Their pain is an attack to the government. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they're sick in their heads, if they're insane. But that's how they've been dealing. That's how Mexico has been. The politicians and the media is dealing with this situation in Jalisco. It's not about Jalisco only. The mass graves and all this situation, the disappeared people disappeared every day, 30 persons in all the country, not just Jalisco, all the country. Jalisco only holds 15,000 disappeared persons, but we're talking about 124 in whole country, all the country, not just Jalisco, not just the Rancho Visaguirre. And we have remember the 19th of March, this a few days back, 19th of March, in Monterrey, Nuevo León. I was living over there in Monterrey, Nuevo León. Two students from college, the Tec de Monterrey, were killed outside the campus, in the door entrance of the campus of Tec de Monterrey, by the army. They were innocents, unarmed. They have no arms in them. They have their backpacks only. They were shot and killed by the army, and they even tampered with the crime scene, and they put guns in their hands to say they were criminals. They tried to say to the public that they were narcos, and they were only students, unarmed, without any arms, any guns. They didn't have anything in their hands, but they shoot them. They killed them. 2 students. And we have 43 students from Ayotzinapa killed in collusion, the government, the state, with the terrorists. They did it themselves together. We have Tomás Herón torturing persons to push them, to make them say something that did not happen in Ayotzinapa, to hide this collusion between the government and the criminals, the terrorists. That happened in Ayotzinapa, and this guy is outside Mexico fleeing the justice. And how many more deaths, how many more killings, how many more disappearings, how many more ranches like this in Jalisco, how many mass graves do we need? 7,000 is not enough. Until when this problem is going to stop? And now they're saying this, that they're putting concrete to hide the evidence. Where are the proofs? Where are the testing? Where are the criminality investigating here? This whole what happened there? What are they covering with concrete? I don't think that's the way to handle evidence. You see, I don't think that's the way to handle evidence right there. And in less than a week, the Guardia Nacional, the National Guard, knew about this place, this ranch, since September of 2024. Since September of 2024, they knew about this ranch. They knew about this ranch. And why did they not secure the ranch? Why did they not investigate the ranch? Why did they not went inside the ranch and find out what happened there? Take evidence. Seek for the responsibles. Bring justice. They're colluded with the criminals. Why are they covering up this with concrete, these places? Why did they let the media enter the ranch to tamper with the evidence in front of everyone, like a joke, like a show, like a TV shit show? Why it's almost like a mockery inside in front of your face. It's like mocking in front of your face. The level of incompetence, of corruption, of maybe collusion with the terrorists is insane. 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 And they knew since September of 2024 and did nothing. Did nothing. They abandoned the ranch. They left it there, just right there without securing it, with nothing. And if it weren't because of the collectives, these mothers seeking their loved ones missing, went into the ranch somehow, they found out all this situation and came out public, we will not even know about this, anything. They will keep it under the loop. That is a criminal. That's just criminal. That by itself is criminal. That piece of information right there is just criminal. This is criminal. And now, you have the media. I said it before. The media. The media, instead of talking about the pain, the suffering, why there is no justice and all this, some media went as far as just saying, cursing, insulting. It was outraged and oh my God, how dare they, how dare they use the word Auschwitz and Holocaust, it was insulting them, called them imbeciles. Those imbeciles that use Auschwitz and Holocaust in this Jalisco, how dare they to compare them when they were millions and here they just stand. And I said, it doesn't matter if it's just one. These pieces of shit, they were outraged because someone used the word Auschwitz. How dare they? What a piece of shit you have to be to say that. Real piece of shit. Real piece of shit, that guy. It doesn't matter if it's just one. Every life matters. Every single life. But this guy was more outraged. Instead of being outraged by the terrorists doing this, the guy was outraged with those people that use the term Auschwitz. How dare they? How dare they? Fucking idiot, man. That's the real imbecile right there. That guy that said that in the media. I was quoting this idiot, right? That's the word. That's literal words that this imbecile, true, really imbecile, said. I was quoting them and mocking myself with this idiot. A real idiot in the media, in the Mexican media. He was more outraged and how dare those people to use Auschwitz, instead of being outraged with the terrorists. Of the fact that we have 124,000 missing persons in Mexico. 30 people goes missing every day. It's 5,000 to 7,000 mass graves with bodies and many more that we don't know, maybe. Who knows how many more there could be out there that we don't know. Only God knows. And that imbecile, truly imbecile piece of shit was outraged by someone using the term Auschwitz and Holocaust. That was the thing that outraged that idiot. A true piece of shit. That's what it is. A true piece of shit. and of course they were maybe referring to Republicans in the United States, to politicians in the United States. Maybe these politicians really are more, that they were insulting, calling him an imbecile because he used Auschwitz. How dare that guy to use that, instead of feeling outraged by the terrorists. I mean, it's fucked up. That's all I can say about that. And they were more outraged and concerned. They were more worried. Some media and people in the talking business were more worried and concerned because how come some YouTubers went into this ranch to take selfies? No, who cares about YouTuber taking selfies in this ranch? We have a serious problem here of 124,000 missing persons, 5,000 to 7,000 mass graves with maybe hundreds of bodies, 30 persons missing each day, and somehow this media, so twisted, so insane, so sick, is more worried about this kind of stuff. Some people, I mean, really, wow. We have a hell on earth situation here in Mexico that has been going on for decades, 2006 to today, maybe till from the 70s. I remember in the 90s, the disappeared persons of in Juarez, Jalisco. Many women disappearing in Juarez in the 90s. It's a problem that goes as far back 70s. And these people in the media are outraged by this nonsense, this dumb stuff. Doesn't matter. Really. It's sickening. No? It's very sickening. Sickening. And it's a next level insanity what's going on. And Mexico has reached bottom line. It could not go lower than this. Really. And you have this politician going to France to give a speech that no one cares about. Stupid speech. Instead of staying here when these big issues are happening, they need to be fixing this stuff. No, he wants to vacation in France. No, it's better spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in business class. Business class, and going to vacation, take pictures of cathedrals in France instead of being here when the country is hell on earth, is burning down in flames. Really. It's awful. There was a video from a lady here that was expressing their disgust. It's disgusting, to be honest, to see this. And yeah, some lady, I put the video before. A lady is expressing that this taste, so this lady, of course, she put even the faces, of disgust, because that's how I feel too. Right there in those little emojis. That's how you feel when you see all this. I feel exactly the same. Ashamed, and disgusting. This is disgusting. And yeah, some politician goes to France. The country is burning down in hell. We have these big issues going on. But yeah, no, let's go better to France, right? Let's go better to France to give a stupid talk when no one is there, when the country is burning down in flames. Just to speak 5 minutes, no one listens, no one cares. Instead of fixing Mexico's problems, right now. I think the guys in the back even laugh about it, because, look at this asshole, right? Instead of being in his country fixing all the madness going on, he's there giving a speech that no one cares about. You see? It's priceless, that laugh. This is priceless, right? Because you have the country burning down in flames. Somehow they prefer to go there to give a speech that no one cares about. It's sad. It's really, really, really sad. And even Amnesty, even Amnesty International Mexico, they put some information with some concerns. They were concerned about these situations happening. They say Teuchtitlan and Tamaulipas. Like I said, it is not only a problem of Teuchtitlan and Jalisco. It's the whole damn country. The whole damn country. Tamaulipas, Teuchtitlan. We have 124,833 people missing. 124,833 people missing. 30 people each day goes missing. People every day goes missing. Every day. Every day. I mean, literally every day. I mean, of course, real people, we are outraged by this situation going on in the media and politics. I mean, many people, real people in Mexico, we are disgusted with what's going on in the media. I mean, we have still the 43 students missing. There's no any answers in there. There has not any answers given in there, any satisfactory answers and justice in this case as well. We have nothing. I mean, sadly, nothing. I mean, it's very, very sad. I mean, it's sad to see this reality, and other people talks about it. I cannot find any word as well, but hell. I mean, the only word that you can think of all this is hell. I mean, I cannot think about any other word but hell on earth. In a place where you have all these disappearances every day, all these between 5,000 and 7,000 mass graves with maybe hundreds of bodies in them, all over the country. I don't know if that's not the only thing word I can think about is hell on earth. Hell on earth. And you have to even consider that many of these women, many mothers seeking their loved ones missing. Many of them say that they are alone. Authorities do not help them, and some of them they even face risks as far as death. Some mothers seeking their loved ones are killed just because these terrorists do not like what they are finding. That's only the only word that you can think about in a place like that is hell. Hell on earth. There's no other word to describe it but hell on earth. And of course we have another part of the hell that we have like this. Amnesty International expressed their concern for the new secondary laws of transparency and personal data published the 20th of March. This reduced the obligations of the key institution in security and allow to preserve or reserve or withhold information under not very clear criteria, or not very clear criteria. This put at risk the access of essential information to the population. We demand the Congress to strengthen the transparency and guarantee full respect to the human rights. And this is civil organization of digital rights. This network says that it communicates that the new laws of transparency and data protection, personal data protection, represents a setback to the protection of our rights. More faculties to reserve or withhold information, less obligations to protections of data. And they put even here, right? And I made a video a few days ago, about as far as the 20th of March, I do not trust the government with transparency until they prove otherwise, until they regain the confidence. Now the government needs to regain the confidence in the transparency commitment because they are resetting. They destroyed the transparency institutes that we had for many years that worked very well with very very stupid arguments that they were corrupt, but they only they weren't enough arguments to eradicate them, to eliminate these institutes, that they were very robust, very very complete, working for more than 20 years. But with the argument of corruption, just an excuse, a complete excuse, they completely destroyed them and create, and they were autonomous, decentralized, but they didn't like that, so they destroy them and they create a new executive secretariat of transparency. But the government cannot be judged and part of the investigations. That's why this Transparency Institute was decentralized, was not tied up to the government, so they can guarantee information. But now that it has returned again to the government looking for themselves, it is insane. You cannot guarantee full transparency if the government is looking for them himself, is being judged and apart. It's not very the best scenario. So now the government has no confidence in transparency at all. For my part, I will be very watchful and cautious with my personal data in online, because I do not trust the government, the actual government, in keeping safe my digital information, my digital footprint, whatever. I do not trust. They have to regain the trust again, showing commitment to transparency, protecting our digital data and all this data, personal data, online everywhere. But I don't know. I do not trust the government with this. They have to regain that trust. But I right now I'm in a yellow light, like the lights of the cars, of the vehicles in circulation in the street, light, like yellow light, because you cannot be naive, And now we have a setback. We had a setback in transparency. So now, like I said, I always do all my stuff in more in a personal manner, in a personal way, without cell phones and all this, because this government has not gained my trust in this matter. And it's a setback for transparency, of course. So we have to see how this new Secretariat of Government, Anti-Corruption and Transparency Secretariat, handles this situation, to see if they regain the trust. But they have to regain the trust showing results, being serious about it. They cannot regain the trust by just pretending and simulating. But I do not trust the government in the terms of my personal data and all this, because they have extended the terms, the criteria, to say withhold information in the basis of apparently national security. What the hell is national security? I mean, that is pro corruption. That criteria right there, for me, is just pro corruption, and not in favor of transparency. So let's hope that this not goes into simulation, because these countries, Mexico have a bad record of simulating. You have Tomás Cerrón with the 43 of Ayotzinapa torturing a guy to say things that did not happen, forcing him to give a forced confession of things that did not happen. That's the fucked up government that we had in the past. We have a government that also killed 2 students in front of the Tec de Monterrey, unarmed students with only their backpacks. They killed them, and they tampered with this crime scene, and they put guns in their hands, and they say that they were narcos when they were just students, unarmed. And with the help of international humanitarian institutions and the UN, they were able to prove that was all a manufactured lie, a crime of the state, and they forced the government to give an apology, a public apology. That's the level of government that we have: extrajudicial killings, disappearances, torture to forced confessions. And now they have eroded the transparency institutions. So they are hiding more information. They're more corrupt than ever. They don't care about the victims of these disappearances, the 124 disappearances. And now we have to see this. We have to see this. You cannot be You cannot investigate yourself, juez y parte. You cannot be a judge and a part of you. You cannot do that, and this is the this is the situation in Mexico. So now we're gonna have to see how they handled it. But I do not trust this government with my data. Of course I don't at all. Like, this is one of the most serious deficiencies or problems, concerning problems, is the weakening of the figure of consent. Do you imagine that? They're weakening the figure when you have to give explicit consent to the use of your data, This is self-law. The law establishes the consent, the tacit or the explicit consent as a general rule, which gives a very high, enhances the way in which companies can obtain it. You need to give it. This reinforces a practice that leaves people in a position of vulnerability, where the tacit consent is instrumentalized to process personal data, even where there is no truthful evidence that there existed an authorizations by the side of the person who belongs the data. So you see, now they are weakening the fact that before you needed to prove without any doubt that you gave consent for the use of your data. Now they are just putting it into a tacit, into a more or less serious. You don't have to prove very expressly and without a doubt that you gave that consent. So they're weakening your right to protect your data because you need to agree. Now they are just saying, no, you just need. If you say it, that's enough. So they're weakening that part, where they don't have to prove without a doubt that you gave consent. They're weakening that part. So that, I do not trust the government with my data at all. I really don't trust. Now they are making more diverse the exceptions to obtain consent. Do you see this fucked up? I don't know. I don't trust this government. We should be concerned in Mexico about this fucking government trying to scam or make fraud with people's data. That's what I worry about. Government making fraud or trying to do something sketchy with personal data, because this is not giving the power to the people. This is making it eroding the power that the people had to give express consent to use any of my personal data. Now they're weakening that. They're even making more diverse the ways that they can fuck up your data. That's what they're doing. These criminals. This is a criminal behavior. To be honest, that's a criminal behavior from this government. So who will guarantee with this government that does not give a shit about victims, about people dying, disappearing, that tortures people to force confessions? What sane person is going to trust these people with not trying to make fraud on your name? I do not trust this. I do not trust these assholes. These assholes going out to France to vacations instead of being here. I don't trust these assholes with my data, and I will never give any consent to the government to anything on my name. If I could, I will say no. You don't have any consent for anything, unless I am present in the room and I say explicitly for what, and you show me what are you using my data, because it's insane. It's insane. We are going to be in a more vulnerable state, in a more vulnerable situation. Of course, it's a setback. It's a setback. They also weaken dispositions regarding the information that has to be included in the privacy notices. For example, it is withdrawn the obligation to inform in simplified notice which are going to be the data used and does not inform about the archive rights or the way in which people can acknowledge changes in the privacy changes. So there is this is what's going on here. It is alarming that the centralization of the functions of the INAI in a secretariat. The law confirms that this not projects as an organ that gives accounts in or gives the account into this matter, because it eliminates their obligation to present informs to the Congress. So you see that now this secretary that is going to be handling transparency does not have to give any inform to the Congress. How much fucking corruption do you want in that simulation like that? This means there will not be supervision clear about their actions, which can foment the opacity. Besides, establishes that the particulars should deliver to the Secretariat the information that requires for their investigations, which creates an ambience that empowers the abuse of power, enhances the abuse of power. You lose opportunities to establish clear obligations for private entities because for the protection of data. For example, in respect of the cancellation of data or the deletion of data, and the periods of storage that the companies establish unilaterally to avoid suppression of data, or demand evaluations of impact and privacy as an obligation to particulars, to individuals. Particulars by individuals. So this is, for example, it says, for example, by resolving the evaluation of impact of protection of data of personal data, the fan ID used for the Mexican Federation of Football, it was applied dispositions designed for obligated subjects, because they did not exist specific regulations to the private sector. This reflected the lack of supervision in the previous legislation, omission that stands in this new law, and shows the lack of effective mechanisms of control and rendition of accountability. So it is not very well designed. There is a clear need to make this better. There is a lot of opportunity areas here to strengthen these transparency laws. We had better ones before. Now they delete the good one and they put this new one with all these issues. I mean, these reforms are insufficient and they enhance the uncertainty about the data protection, the personal data protection by the private sector. So now they are not very well laws that put the private sector into the loop, so they can be forced to protect the information. Now they are more soft laws. I mean, that's not good. Since from R3D we regret the approval of these laws, and we make a call to the legislative person to push profound reforms that guarantee a true protection of the human rights, and revert the legislative tendencies that pretends to generate a greater opacity of the government acts and less protection of the privacy in front of the state and private companies, when they should be the otherwise. I mean, and then you have all this nonsense, this alleged they hacked the president's phone, right? I mean, you have this problem, and they put lesser laws, or laws that are more dumb for saying it that way, in terms of personal data. I mean, it's a shit show. It's a shit show. No? They are recognizing that the phone of the president was hacked, and they want to put these less good transparency laws into effect. They destroy transparency institutions. they put in more vulnerable situation citizens that we are already. We face the problems of insecurity. We face all these issues, and now this stuff, they recognize that they cannot fucking protect the telephone of the president. Because I see a shit show here only, and I mean, but anyways, I mean, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like hell on earth. Hell on earth. You have these 124,000 people missing. Yeah, no one gives a shit, you know. You're exaggerating. Don't be a drama queen. I mean, seriously. I mean, that's your answer. Seriously. Some people say even that, you know. We cannot be drama queens. Exaggerate. I mean, seriously. Anyways, yeah, I mean, here is this Amnesty International response, because yeah, it's bad, you know. Not even the disappearances, but now your personal data, your privacy is more vulnerable now. We are in a vulnerable position already with this insecurity. They don't do nothing. They do not do shit. But now we have less transparent laws, less guarantees of transparency, less security with our personal data or privacy. They forbid citizens to defend themselves with carrying a weapon. They forbid many situations like that. I mean, this government acts like a criminal, trying to put you in a more vulnerable position. That's what they do. They seem to be putting people more at risk instead of protecting them. It's insane. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. And of course, I'm not even. I just need one more thing to say to see how effed up this situation is right here. No? We have all these situations that you say, well, that's enough, right? They say, well, yeah, that's enough. That should be enough in any health scenario. But this is insane. But now let's figure out this one. You see, we have this other piece of information additional. You know, the president sends an initiative to create a cell phone. How do you say padrón? A cell phone. How do you say this? Database. Yeah, database. I think database. Now they are saying that they are an initiative, a law initiative to create a database of the cell phones, of the cell phone numbers. And it proposes that 148.3 million Mexicans that they have a cell phone deliver their data with the apparently allegedly the reason is to avoid extortion and kidnapping. I mean, who believes this? I mean, now they're saying that they want to create this platform, this database of identification of users of mobile cell phone or like cell phone. That is similar to PANOUT. We already have something like this in 2008. Well, there was a law that was an initiative that was sent to the Congress to vote in 2021 that was called the PANOUT. That it was the same, to create a database of cell phone users. They request a CURP and identification to the number, and the justice, the Supreme Court of Justice say no. You know, that project of the PANOUT in 2021, the Supreme Court say no to that. No, because it violates human rights. So they say no. It's a no-go, and they dismissed completely that initiative because it was unlawful, violated human rights. and the Supreme Court say no, it's not okay. And yeah, it failed already. There is a precedent. There is jurisprudence. I think it's in English jurisprudence, and there is like this precedent, this law precedent, where the Supreme Court of Justice already say no. That should be enough to kick away this new initiative and send him to the garbage bin, right? I think that should be enough, now with this precedent, this lawful precedent that the Supreme Court say no because violates human rights. No, I think it should be enough to send it to the garbage bin, this new attempt. Because this government seems to be wanting to put the people in a more vulnerable state. We have our lives vulnerable. We have the risk to be disappeared. We have our lives in risk, and this government seems to want more vulnerability. Instead of protecting us, they seem to be wanting us in a more vulnerable position. I mean, they act like criminals. I mean, these initiatives act like criminals. I mean, it apparently seemed to be written by criminals. What government with an obligation to protect their constituents, their civil, the population, create laws that put in a more vulnerable state their people? What kind of government does that? Not a good one. And now say that the lady that sent this initiative said that the creation of the platform will be to enhance and strengthen the investigations of public security, and needed to get data of proof. I mean, what investigation are we talking about? The same investigation of the ranch in Jalisco, when the National Guard handed over the ranch when they found it to the public ministry, to the prosecutor's office in Jalisco, and they did not even secure the ranch. They left it there like abandoned ranch. They did not gather evidence. They did not investigate anything. And now the general prosecutor's office making this the shit show TV show like a tour, like a tourism, go in and go out in, like if you were a tourist, entering a museum of this ranch. What investigations are we talking about? I mean, really? They're saying the investigation and proof of what? Of what? They obviously tried to do some fraud or some scam. Now they saying that the telecommunications companies like Telcel, AT&T, those are providers, the cell phone providers, they're saying that they will be obliged or compelled, like enforced, to realize a register of all the database of their users, do not provide service, to lose the service of cell phone, in how do you say this in English? I'm a little bit rusty in English, of course. I mean, now they're saying that they're gonna what? How do you say this in English? Disqualifies or disables? They're going to disable the lines, the telephone lines, the cell phone lines that are not associated to a person, with exception, you see, even with exception of the criminals, I was going to say with the exception of the security services and emergency. So if you do not comply with handing over your data to these private companies that will not secure your personal data because the laws of transparency made it worse, you will have a cell phone disabled. You will not have any more chances to use your cell phone number. You just, so they will force you to put at risk your data, and if you do not comply, they will have to disable your line, and you are without a cell phone. You cannot make it calls, to talk with your family and everyone who you want, because you have to put at risk your information more than you already are. and not just even one piece of information. You will think, oh right, no, I just give my identification, my ID, and that's it. No, no, this is not enough. You have to give your ID, your code, and your tax contribuent register, your number of your of like the your like your IRS number, the equivalent in Mexico of your IRS number. So you have to give your ID, your code, and your IRS number. If you don't hand over that information, well, your cell phone goes bye bye. You no longer have a cell phone number. And that sounds like a fucking criminal to me. You're not trying to give me, or you don't play. Only criminals do that, right? Only criminals do that. What are we talking about? Not Korea or China, where if you don't cooperate, bye bye, no. And even the foreigners, the people that live in Mexico that are from another country, well, they're gonna have to hand over their passport. So you give me your passport, or it's like a criminal. Only criminals do that, you cooperate or bye bye. That's what a criminal says, and this is what this law says. Now the question is, who wrote this law? What criminal wrote this law? I will say, what criminal wrote this law? What terrorist wrote this law? Because only a terrorist or a criminal say, give me or bye bye, no? And I'm sure any agent of the DEA or the CIA, whatever, they're gonna say, right, yeah, only terrorists and criminals say, give me or bye bye, no? Give me or bye bye. Only criminals do that. And this law is like, I don't know who wrote it, but apparently a criminal wrote it, because it's the same language. It's the same language. And yeah, this proposal signifies bringing back the threat. It is a threat of the database, the national database of cell phone numbers, the user cell phone numbers. It was called PANOUT. This was dismissed by the Supreme Court, saying no, it violates human rights, it's fucked up, take it to the garbage bin. They dismiss it with the former president that is now being investigated by the United States because he traveled to Cuba. And why again this initiative that was already dismissed by the Supreme Court of Justice, that considers that the measure was that violated human rights. But now we have no more NI. We have the weakened Supreme Court, but the very precedent, the law precedent, I think should be enough to kick it away, to put it in the trash bin, because there is a law precedent there that when they already kick it away, and that's just not enough, right? I mean, the judicial power 3 years ago stopped the creation of the PANOUT because it was unconstitutional. This resolution was the result of a controversy, a constitutional controversy that presented the INAI, but with the changes of the court, we don't know. Now we don't have the INAI anymore. That's why they wanted to take it away. Because those two powers did not allow them to make their frauds or their scams. They prevent them to make their frauds, to make fraud to the people. Misuse their data, their personal data, violating their human rights. That's why they did not wanted these two powers, because they were decentralized. They could not touch them, and they behave like criminals. That's how they behave, and only a criminal behaves like that. And not only that, I said it in Spanish already, no? These databases do not work. They already failed in Mexico once. They already did in Mexico once this, in 2008. Did not work. It failed already. Why are they wanting to do this again? See, some countries already eliminate this kind of laws because they limit the penetration of a service. In Colombia, it enhance the cell phone robbery. In Argentina, it only shows mistakes, errors. In Colombia, Uruguay, Argentina, and even Mexico, the creation of this database, like the one approved by the last week in the Senate. Well, this was in 2021. It was already approved by the Senate, but the Supreme Court said no, unconstitutional, and it violates human rights, and put it in the trash bin where it belongs. And even the experts, right? The experts say that this failed. This type of initiatives and proposals failed in their attempt to stop robbery and extortion and kidnapping. This has not worked in any other countries. Many people in that time say that the flaws observed in other countries predominates the lack of coordination between entities related with the register and the overregulation to obtain a cell phone number. This generates an increase in clonation of SIM and chip traffic. I mean, a criminal marketing for chips. Plus inhibit the growth of the penetration of the service. It only worsened for the companies. It's bad for everyone. Bad business for everyone. Bad business for cell phone companies. Bad business for us as users, because put us in more danger. Only enhance criminality. And they say this organism, the organism in charge of this database, denounce a lack of budget to protect the data. You see, which increases the leak of this data, as it happened in Mexico already with the failed National Register of Users of Telecommunications renewed in 2008, and it was shut down in 2011. It already failed in Mexico. Why to repeat this formula that does not work? Why bringing back things that do not work? It only brings more risk to people. That's the only thing they do. It only enhances and increases the robbery of cell phones, the clonation of chips and cell phones. We cannot forget that the army of Mexico used Pegasus, and it hid the contracts of the Pegasus purchase. I mean, what are we talking about? This is obviously had all the red flags for a government trying to make a scam or a fraud. What kind of fraud? I don't know, but it has all the red flags to a fraud or criminal activity with all this. Last week, legislators approved to create this database. This was rejected by the Supreme Court. This was rejected by the Supreme Court in 2021 already. Why to bring back these initiatives that do not work? It already didn't work in Mexico in 2008. Why again? What kind of fraud they want to bring up? And we cannot forget that this sheet show with the president's cell phone was hacked. I mean, all the red flags for some bullshit. All the red flags are there. In Colombia, only increased criminality. The experience in Colombia with the register of users in mobile cell phone resulted in an increase of criminality, besides vulnerating the privacy of the persons, assured Lucia Velanda, responsible of the equipment of technology for the social change in the Latin American consultancy foundation Abina. Develop a database connected or intertwined with the user register of cell phone ends up generating a black market of stolen chips, extracted or cloned. It is probably going to enhance with a register like that. It is what the evidence says in terms of the persons that are making crimes are not going to make the register. But of course, the criminals, the terrorists that are making these crimes, they're not going to be stupid enough to register their phone numbers. They're probably going to steal someone's phone and do criminal activities, and they're going to put innocent people on the loop in a bad spot. We have a country where the judicial system does not work. Is overwhelmed. It's very We just see what happened with Jalisco, how they handle that ranch. Imagine the situation is going to be awful. In 2011, Colombia created the Register of IMEI, one unique identifier operated by the firms of mobile cell phone and the regulator of telecommunications in that country. However, since the instrumentation a decade ago, the official record indicate that the smartphones, the stealing of cell phones or smartphones went to the clouds, went high, went up, and annually it is reported 1 million of smartphones is the robberies. So it is not work. Avelenda commented that the demand of the biometric database in America Latina, like other parts of the world, is a tendency. This type of policies suppose a risk for the users that have, as consequences, cyber attacks, stolen identity, scams, politic attacks, politic persecution, among others. It's awful. Uruguay accuses misorganization or disorganization. In the same in Uruguay, it does not work. The problem with these databases is due to a lack of coordination between entities related with the register. There is does not work. Argentina, data errors. I mean, Argentina is not obligated, it is not forced to withhold data. It has shown only errors, like it says, It has only shown errors. Implemented a database of suspect minors through facial recognitions, which registered only one person 3 times. Even a kid of 3 years was appeared looked for robbery. I mean, the face of a kid of 3 years showed up in the system because apparently the kid was the authorities were looking for the kid of 3 years because he made some robbery somewhere. I mean, errors everywhere. It does not work. In Mexico, we already had this and did not work. All the red flags for a criminal activity are in there. I mean, all the red flags. In Mexico, in 2008, the Renault was created, which uploaded, enhanced, or increased. The word is increased 40% the telephonic extortion. And the information of the users was leaked to the black market, where it was sold in 500 pesos. 500 pesos. I mean, all the problems for everyone. The IFT, Telecommunications Federal Institute, warned that implementing this database will require more than 109 million pesos for first year of its creation. Mexico does not have money. We're talking about austerity, Republican austerity. We're gonna use these funds with responsibility. We cannot be creating this non-working, that does not work and does not do any good type of initiatives already rejected by the Supreme Court, and use 109 million pesos. We don't have that money to do that, to create more problems. Imagine 100 more million pesos 1 year to more problems, to bring yourself more problems, instead of investing those 109 million pesos in strengthening the judicial system. I mean, Adolfo Loera, CEO and founder of Biometric Applied, say that to create the register, the IFT and the operators could manage some kind of agreement to access some database and stuff, but they will have to invest in things. It did not work already. I mean, it did not work already. Why wanting to bring this thing that did not work? And why now, when the protection of your personal data is more vulnerable than ever? This is all the criminal reflex, and I'm gonna say it in English and in Spanish. This is not showing good signs. All the bad signs for criminal activity are in there. You have this shit show when apparently the cell phone of the president was hacked. I mean, what else? I mean, Jesus. They could not even guarantee the security of the cell phone of the alleged president, and now they're trying to put these laws that put us more at risk. I mean, no, no, no. I mean, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I mean, come how? I mean, I mean, no. I mean, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. No. All the red flags are out there. I mean, really, all the red flags are out there because it's I mean, oh my god, I do not trust. I do not trust in any of this. It's all bad. I mean, all bad. All this situation is not okay. It's not okay at all. And I don't know. I just put this out there. It's like putting all this information out there because I mean, I don't know if anyone is looking at this, but it's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. And I don't know, when you have a government using Pegasus, colluding with criminals to force disappearance of students, extrajudicial killings of students, people without arms, students that they were studying in a college, outside the college. They put guns in their hands and tried to say they were criminals. I mean, I don't know. In a government, in a place where the situations happens, when you have now the transparency laws weakened and all this shit show, when you have more vulnerability to your personal data and the consent, it is in weakened. Or there are claims that it is less protective. I mean, now this again, this law that did not work when they are using criminal language like give me or bye bye, with all these cell phone numbers, right? I mean, it's criminal activity. I cannot see it anywhere else as criminal activity. And I don't know what they should say. What criminal put that language in that initiative? It's the third time that they want to pass this initiative. They should say openly and publicly what terrorist or criminal wrote that law, that initiative, because it is not to protect the users' data, the population. It is to put it in a more vulnerable spot. And we should ask everyone in Mexico what criminal wrote that initiative, because the last time I checked, a government needs to put laws that protect the citizen, that strengthen the protection of the citizen, of their data, the personal data protection, not make it more vulnerable. But that's just something I need to say, and I need to leave it here. 10:38 p.m. 10:38 p.m. There we go. Oh, I'm sorry. So 10:38 p.m. we have 10:39 p.m. Of this Saturday, and yeah, I mean, all the red flags of criminal activity are in those initiatives, in these changes, transparency changes weakened, some laws that had already been pushed away, dismissed, put it in the trash bin where it belongs. Again, it did not work in Mexico already once. Now the question is, what criminal wrote that initiative? I mean, the United States should even be watching this. I mean, complete criminal activity, complete red flags everywhere. And the media is not helping. They're even insulting and calling names and saying insults to people that used the term Auschwitz in this Jalisco ranch. And I think there were even Republicans in the Senate in the United States that used the term, and well, the media is insulting these guys, these Republicans. They're calling them names. They're outraged because they use that word when they should be outraged that the terrorists are doing this to people. I mean, it's next level crazy. Next level crazy. Literally, next level crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna finish this. This is something like hell on earth. There's no other word to describe it. There was a communicator, a letter that a civil organization made to support the family members of the people that are disappeared. They made a public statement supporting the persons in this situation, people suffering from enforced disappearance, from extrajudicial killings by the state. And they behave like criminals many times, and they expressed support to people in this situation in a letter, and I read a few a little part of it. I'm gonna see if I can find it, if I can find this letter. It was a letter to give support, to moral support, maybe to people that are suffering in a bad spot, maybe. And yeah, I mean, I read a part a few moments ago, and let's hope that yeah, I mean that this situation is prevented in the future, because yeah, I mean, it's really sad what's going on in Mexico, and the indolence, the lack of sensibility, of empathy is yeah, is awful, and yeah, they made a comunicado. I think I don't find it. I saw it a few minutes ago. I don't find it. I wanna see if I can find it. Historial. I need to find historial. The history of. Oh, man, I don't find this. I don't know if this remembers history, because some search. I think it does not have a history. I don't think it has history. Let me check this. But yeah, it's very sad, the situation, how it's been handled. It's very sad how the situation are handled, and yeah, I mean, let's hope that solidarity and this situation it is not anymore like this, because of course many people are angry, are disappointed, are many situations that I think many people in Mexico are disappointed, are concerned, are worried about many things, and yeah, the politics is awful. I mean, it's really awful. I mean, there are many groups of politics, of mercenaries of politics in media that try to use the pain of other people for their personal gain. I mean, it's awful. You know, in the United States happens something similar, but not as serious as Mexico, because over there is only material things. You know, it's only with maybe with some Teslas being burned and some situations like that. Well, I think it happened in a similar way when there was this I think these school shootings, I think maybe something similar where they use the pain of the victims to get political gain, but not as serious as in Mexico, where we're talking about 124,000 missing persons, 30 missing persons each day. We're talking about between 5,000 and 7,000 mass graves, where they are between hundreds and maybe thousands of or maybe thousands of bodies, and maybe God knows how many more of these places are out there in Mexico that we don't know of. And we have been doing happen these tragedies have been had happened since at least the 70s, and many years of people being dead, many the case of this situation that it is uh, um, that there was this Narcosatanica series in HBO where they talk about these rituals of satanic worshipping and killing and all this nasty situation that happened in HBO. It is portrayed in HBO documentary Narcosatanica, where there's this nexus with these politicians and all this madness, all these situations. This I don't know, it's awful. You think about what the hell is going on, right? And this very awful situation that you can only feel disgust about, and you the only word that you can think about is hell on earth. Hell on earth. Let's hope that for the sake of dignity, of the human decency, in the name of human dignity, human decency, and empathy, and solidarity, and the respect for human life, the most precious gift that we have in this world, that we reject all this violence, these mercenaries of information in the media, in the politician, that don't care about human suffering, that they only think about themselves, they don't see beyond their nose, they are indolent, they don't care about other people's suffering, they don't care about the pain of people, they are nasty people. And we should, the society, wake up against these nasty people that behaves like that are apologetic of consumption of drug substances, like some YouTuber assholes that are selling like the marijuana was something cool, the complete assholes, like Luisito Comunica is an asshole, putting himself like with this marijuana, what an asshole, we're for junkie assholes, with this stupidity. I mean, stupid people, really stupid people, with no conscience, with their fucking moral compass fucked up. I mean, fucked up in the head. That's what we need less. These sick persons in their heads, and more sanity, more less decency, more decency. Instead of calling names and insulting Republicans in the United States cowardly because they didn't even say names. What a coward was that guy in the media calling imbecile to those guys that dare to use the Auschwitz term in what happened in Jalisco. When the real imbecile is that guy, and a coward, complete coward, with no pants, with no balls, because he didn't even say names. You just cowardly say, oh, those guys, what a coward, because he didn't put a name. And a true imbecile. He was shouting out what he was, projecting himself with words. A true imbecile saying this stuff, projecting himself. But anyways, Mexico is fucked up. I said it in Spanish. Do not follow up the Teuchtitlan case in Mexican media. There are many, very few Mexican media that are sane, that are okay. Not all journalists are okay. Many media are not very well. I say follow up in international media because they're outside this madness. They see it from the outside. They're not inside the madness mix. And that's the best way to follow up Teuchtitlan. It is not just Teuchtitlan. I'm gonna repeat it. It is not just Teuchtitlan. There's a collective of human rights organizations, non-governmental organizations of human rights, even the UN. Well, some of these organizations talks about between 5,000 and 7,000 mass graves or holes in the ground where they found bodies. Maybe 10, 30, hundreds. 7,000. Someone put between 5,000 and 7,000, and God knows how many more we don't know about. In all the country, not just Tenochtitlan, all the country, 124,000 missing people. 30 people goes missing every day. And this media, this toxic media in Mexico, insulting and calling out names, those who dared to use the words of Auschwitz in Tenochtitlan. The moral compass is fucked. I mean, and this idiot in Luisito Comunica, marijuana, putting myself with breathing marijuana like an idiot, complete idiots. They are complete idiots, and purposeful idiots, dangerous idiots. That they do these things on purpose, without caring about the problems that they can make about that stupidity, the influence they put into people to this idiocracy of marijuana. What an idiot! What an idiot that guy is. A complete idiot. A guy that was in the same building with Peña Nieto, in the same house that was. An useful idiot is that guy. Useful idiot is that guy. That guy is nothing more than a useful idiot, and he put himself into that position by doing the marijuana video. A useful idiot, an imbecile. But whatever. That's just what I'm gonna say. I have to say it because I was praising the guy, the idiot, because he was trying to talk about the line, but the imbecile, the idiot, the useful idiot went down to put a video with marijuana. But I'm not gonna support that shit. Sorry, but that's an idiot. I thought he was a smart dude, but he's an imbecile, a complete idiot. I don't care. Who cares about what idiot has to say, right? He flushed any credibility that he has. He even dressed as a woman, but I don't care. I don't care about that guy. I'm not gonna talk about that stuff. I don't care. I just don't care. But he behaved like an idiot, and that's it. People do stupid things for money and views. Yeah, whatever. But it's sad. Instead of promoting something good, but things is funny, right? Things that marijuana is, well, whatever. That's what I'm gonna say today, and there you go. 10:52 p.m. Yeah, it's very, very toxic situation in Mexico right now. Much indolence, lack of empathy, don't give you a shit. If it doesn't affect me, I don't care, look the other way. The media is fucked up. The politicians are also kind of fucked up, they don't care. They only care about the political careers, and that's the sad reality, and there's so much pain, but sadly violence is so normalized, sadly, in Mexico that I don't know what's going to happen next. They even say that this is the happiest country in the world. They even say it is the top 10 the happiest countries in the world. And well, I don't know about that, but I don't know. Maybe we just don't care. That's why they're happy. They're happy because they don't care. Probably, I don't know. But that's the reality that is portrayed in this matrix. In this matrix right here, in this place that I call the matrix. And yeah, that's what it is in the matrix. And there's a lot of a lack of human decency. That's what is going on in this media. A lack of human decency, lack of seriousness. Yeah, that's how the matrix is. Sadly, that's how the matrix is. That's why I always say no to the matrix. Try to avoid all this shit show in the media and all this stuff, because it is I don't watch this media and this stuff, because I had to talk about this because it shows how this works, this matrix, this situation in the internet works. It is distasteful, the lack of decency, very nasty, awful. It is sometimes it portrays like if it were all a game, all just fun and games, and doesn't respect the real suffering of people, and people that have been through all this, that real have a real suffering behind all these situations, and it does not respect that at all, at all. And that is really disgusting. And seeing politicians going to France when the country is burning down in flames is disgusting too. But that's the Mexico we are living today, and I don't know if it's going to be fixed. But those idiot YouTubers that do stupid things and try to say, oh, marijuana, well, how fun is marijuana, what an idiot I am, ooh, look how fun this is. Well, that people is the problem. That kind of people is the problem, and why this situation in Mexico has reached a bottom line. It is the bottom of the depth of the hole, and that people kind of people is not going to help Mexico to go to the next level, to go to a place where it belongs in the world, where people does not laugh. They laughed of this guy that went to France to give a talk to 3 people in Spanish. No one understands shit. No one gave a damn about what he said. And the country's burning, and he only went there to these other guys in the back that were laughing about it. It's like, well, that's the situation we have right now in Mexico, and it is not the best. And that's what is going on in these weeks and months. That's what has been going on, and the Mexico situation is sad. It's very, very pathetic, very sad, very painful to see. It is unacceptable. It is it makes you feel ashamed of what's going on in Mexico. But like I said in Spanish, no, Mexico is not as small as small as a political party. Mexico is not as small as 1 or 2 politicians. It is not as small as a movement. Mexico is far much bigger than just a name. It is far more bigger than just a few years. It is thousands of years, millennia of years. Very few countries in the world have a history that goes back as millennia as Mexico, like China, maybe Istanbul in Turkey, maybe some countries like that. The Egyptians too have a millenary culture. The Jews have a millenary culture as well. And Mexico, of course, and some South America and Latin American countries like Peru, for example, have a millenary culture like the Incas. And we in Mexico have a lot of history to be proud of. And of course, we as Mexican, I feel ashamed of the political system, of today's political system, at least from 2006, from today, and maybe some parts in the past, in the 70s. I feel ashamed of that. That does not represent Mexico. That does not represent me as Mexican. That political system, rotten political system, no political party, no political movement represents me as Mexican, because as Mexican we hold a history of Mayans, Aztecs, Tlaxcaltecas, Olmecs, part of the Incas, and many, even in the north, the Apaches. Many of those cultures are part of our history. We represent a history of millennia that created the zero, the concept of the zero, of the nothing. They created a calendar more precise than the Roman calendar that was created a long time ago, that predicted eclipses as far as a few years recently, from thousands of years ago, that created incredible architecture, incredible history, incredible things in our history that makes us feel proud as Mexican and brings us together as Mexican. That has nothing to do with what ashames us, I think, in this recent rotten political system, rotten political media, politicized media, rotten media. Not all of them, of course. There are some few exceptions in the media, and maybe in politics there are very, very few exceptions, of course. And that does not represent Mexico. This shit show that we're seeing with Tenochtitlan, Jalisco, does not represent Mexico. This situation that led to all these killings and all these disappearances does not represent Mexico. I want to think that does not represent Mexico, but it has reached the bottom line, of course, and it cannot keep going like this. It should not keep going like this in the future. And I think Mexico has to do everything to stop all this situation to increase, to regain the trust of the people. That's what the Mexican government needs to do: regain the trust of the people by doing the things that are needs to do to protect the citizens, to guarantee justice, to bring accountability to those perpetrators, to the criminals, to the terrorists, to enhance and protect and strengthen the protection of the civil rights, of all the human rights, of data protection, personal data protection, strengthen the laws to bring empower the population and not put him in a more vulnerable spot. Like this first, these laws of transparency needs to work a lot. They need to improve a lot. They need to change in these little aspects to become more robust, that protect more the citizens, that protect the consent express, the consent, the part where you have to give express consent for any company to use any of your data, not tacit but express consent, because that's what it should do, and some things that needs to be worked out, and here it has to gain again the regain the trust of the people, doing things that show its commitment to the truth, to the justice, to the state of the rule of law, to accountability, to protect the human rights at all costs, to avoid any extrajudicial killings, to bring people accountable to all the crimes that are committing, to end these killings in these mass graves and in these ranches and all this criminality that has happened before, to stop these job offers from terrorists that put people at risk. They need to stop all that, because all this enforced disappearance is very, very nasty, very, very nasty. And sadly, many of these laws that I mentioned here have all the red flags to criminal activity, all the red flags. But I'm gonna say this very clearly, I'm gonna say it very out loudly, and yes, he has to put this as an unprecedented, and something that puts this in the spotlight, and at least to have something. Well, there is, there was all these signs of criminality at that time. So let's hope that this let's hope that I am wrong, and that this government really wants to do things in the right way, but they have to show it. Of course, they could be have this commitment. They could have this real commitment to justice, this to truth, to transparency, but they need to prove it. The government needs to prove it now with results, with improvements of laws, with laws that show that they put the protection of people first in every place, the almost ultimate level, the protection of people in at all costs of human rights. And when they show that, when they start to show that and brings results that show that beyond words, then and people like me are going to shut up, when they start to show up in a consistent way through the years, result over result over result of this, what I'm saying, of course people like me are going to shut up, because we don't want fights, stupid fights with the government. That's not the point. It's not fighting the government. That's just stupid. You cannot fight the government. That's not you don't win anything with that. That's not the point. The point here is demanding and requesting and vigilating and observing and being watchful of the things that the government is doing, so that these things that the government wants to do put the protection of the civilians first at all times, of the human rights and all this stuff. Sadly, with these initiatives, shows the otherwise, shows criminal activity, shows red flags for criminal activity. That should change. And some of these things do not work. Like I said, when government of course shows with results the commitment to justice, to privacy, to the human rights, to change to improve things for the better, when they show that, when they prove that with results more than words, of course, I repeat myself, I'm gonna shut up. I'm just going to, maybe even I have even talk about the good things of the government. Of course, I even say that the initiative from this the cell phone users database, I said it, I repeat myself in English. I said it in Spanish. I don't think the president, the Sheinbaum, made that initiative. I don't think she was. It doesn't sound like her style. It doesn't sound like her, the initiative. It sounds like the previous president with the criminal language there. I repeat myself. That initiative that has already been thrown down into the bin of garbage bin for the Supreme Court because violates human rights was from the previous president. And it's being investigated by the United States, and it does not show the president Sheinbaum style. It doesn't show the style of the president Sheinbaum. She said many things that I don't think that initiative is made by her. I think that it is made by the previous investigated criminal president being investigated by the United States because he traveled to Cuba. And I think that many people in Mexico should not accept that law that only puts us in more danger with the criminal language. Uses the way they put that if people does not give this personal data, even the IRS number, come on, they're gonna disable your cell phone number. Only criminals use that language. No, give me or nothing or bye. That's the language of a criminal, of a terrorist. And I like I said, that does not sound like the president Sheinbaum at all. But anyway, I'm gonna finish this one already here, 3 hours. I'm sorry I did it this long because I had to say these things. I needed to put these things in this register, and I think in the beginning, I think the audio failed a little bit. I don't know how many times failed. I hope I was able to sound good in the beginning. I think it was like an hour when I sounded bad. I hope that the sound is good. But anyway, I try to repeat a little bit what I said at the beginning. That's why I make it a little bit longer, right? But yeah, I'm gonna finish now because it's already Sunday, 11 and 7 p.m. And I'm gonna end up this one this time. And tomorrow I'm going to upload a shorter video. I just wanted to say these things that I say in Spanish in English as well, adding a little bit of context because the media, went AWOL. The media went bad in Mexico, is losing sight of many things, and many people are just assholes, right? Like this guy Comunica that I praised, that he said about Tenochtitlan and put it supporting the Mars, and then the next thing he does is smoking marijuana like an idiot. He's just an asshole, He's an asshole. So whatever, do not smoke weed, do not smoke any substance, any drug, any I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke weed, I never use any substance in me, and it's okay. I feel great, and I will not recommend any use of any drug, any alcohol. No, don't smoke, don't drink, don't use weed, don't use any drug. The fentanyl kills. Fentanyl is death. It's the worst substance in the world. It is awful. It is like death on a pill. It is the worst thing that you can find in the world. Do not get near to that killing substance, to that poison. All this alcohol, these substances, these drugs, this weed. Well, maybe the weed is for medical purposes in some very specific cases, but all that does bad to the body. It's not good for the body in the long term. That things are toxic. They toxify your body. They make you feel bad. They make you addictive. Say no to all those things. I haven't tried any drug in my life, and I feel great. I feel great. I feel awesome. And people does not need that shit. That shit only makes you waste money, destroy lives, takes people to their deaths. They transform people into zombies. It's the worst thing in the world. This fentanyl, these chemicals. It's awful. I cannot believe how awful this situation has gotten. It is very, very bad. And I'm not gonna be the same idiot as this guy Comunica, that all the weed and all this stuff. Well, I'm not gonna do the same things, that same stupidity. I'm gonna say no to that. Say no to any drug. Stay clean. Stay clean. You know? Stay clean. Live healthy. Make exercise. Eat fruits. You know. Well, I sometimes I try to eat fruits instead of buying sometimes I don't know some um, chips or something like that. Sometimes you can buy some fruits with that and be fine. It's always better to eat fruits, eat healthy, drink water than all these substances that make something bad to your body. You know. So say no to drugs. Say no to drugs. Any drug, say no, 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 no. I don't want that. No, don't need that. That shit destroys lives, brings death, and empowers criminals. That shit makes more powerful the criminals, the terrorists. You know that shit. That money ends up in the hands of terrorists. Don't buy any of that. Don't use that. You don't need that. You don't need it at all. Buy fruits. Make exercise. A little bit walk. You just walking, just jumping in your room. A little bit of cardio. It's 5 minutes a day. Drink water. If you want to drink soda, well, but drink water as well. And life is beautiful in that way. You don't need any substance like that. And I met other people like me that does not drink, does not smoke, does not consume any drugs. They stay clean and they live healthy. They have excellent, wonderful lives. They are awake. They are aware of all the things that are happening at the moment. They are not intoxicated, and that's a beautiful life. Sometimes the reality is difficult. Yes, reality can be difficult, but you face it straightforward, no? Straightforward, and you see reality. And well, there has some things that has to be fixed, but those things are not going to fix if you consume alcohol or whatever. You know, some people do it to escape reality, but escaping reality is not going to fix reality. We need to face reality and accept it as it is with its flaws and try to change it. Do something, or even a small thing. You know, it doesn't have to be something ultra like wow, it's superhero, no, like saved millions of lives with that move. It doesn't have to be something like that. It has to be something small things, like even in the, I don't know, in some spiritual texts it says, no, from small things greater things happen. Some small action can bring incredible results that you may not even see. Something even small, maybe even these words: don't drink, don't smoke, don't use drugs. That shit kills. That's the worst thing in the world. That maybe something as small as this message can do big things. You don't know how big the impact is going to have a little thing. And those little things, if every person make a small thing, imagine if everyone in the world, 8 billion people, did a small good action. We have 8 billion small good actions in the world. Imagine that. Imagine if every person feed the hunger, one hunger person. We will not have hunger in the world. We will not have that. I don't think there are as much as 8 billion people in hunger, you know. But if just one thing that we do good, each person in the world, you have 8 billion of good actions in one day. One small thing. Open the door to an old lady or an old man. Give up your seat to a person in a bus. Maybe a woman with a baby, an old person. Just one thing, one small thing. One. And multiply by 8 billion of human beings, you have 8 billion of good actions in the world. Just one. You don't have to do, if you want to do more than one, well, we can do more than one. You know, be nice to someone that is sad, you know. Say hello to someone in the street. Maybe something small like that. We never know. We really never know. I don't think the world will be a very bad place as it is now if 8 billion people do big or small just one in the day. If you want to do 10, well, 10 in the day. Imagine 10 for 8 billion. We have an stratospheric number of good actions. Sometimes we are not aware of how good and how many good can we do if all humanity did these things, all of us, with no exception. Plant one tree. Plant one tree. You have 8 billion new trees in a day. Imagine the 3 day everyone plant just one tree, a little plant or a tree. You will have in one day 8 billion trees. Tell me if that will not help the so-called climate change. It is like that. Reality is just like that. I mean, I'm convinced that we as humanity are not aware of how big of an impact can have one small deed if every one of us, without exception, did it. Just one. And just think about that. Whoever is watching this, just think about that. If God of the universe put you to watch this, whoever you are, just think about it. Say to your friends, say this idea to your friends and think about it. Whoever, all your friends, with all your family, you share that idea and you think about it and meditate how the world will change if 8 billion souls did one good deed each day. Maybe plant one arbor. You will have end up with 8 billion trees in the world, new trees. Whatever other good deed that you can think of, all is okay as long as it's a good thing. And I don't think that many people thinks in these things, but how good it will be if all share this type of messages with all the people around us, and they share it with the other people around them, and the chain will be big enough to reach many people, and many good deeds will be as a result of just that idea. One idea, just one idea like that, just that idea. Instead of uploading videos yourself, giving a hug to a marijuana tree like an idiot, instead of weed is so good, instead of doing that stupidity, just think about that idea. One good deed, one small good deed, one small. And think about 8 billion good deeds a day. I don't know if we will have so many things happening in the world as bad as we see them. I don't know, maybe in a few years, maybe the world will be completely different. I don't know, but it's just one idea, just one idea, and the implications and what you think about of all that is amazing, amazing. But I'm gonna stop that now. We're 3 hours. I wanted to close in 3 hours. We're 3 hours and 1 minute of live stream. I wanted to put all this information out there. I think is needed. I have to speak strongly because it's unacceptable, the situation we see in the Matrix. It is very lack of decency, of basic human decency at the most levels. It is fucked up. It is corruption at its highest levels. It is criminal behavior with politicians, with initiatives that put people more at risk instead of protecting them, and unacceptable in many ways. But we as human beings, as real human beings, that we do not ask for permission to exist. We just exist and say these things because we don't ask for permission of anyone to express ourselves, to make our human rights, to use our human rights. We can share these kind of ideas. Real people like me, like everyone who's watching this, these are real people that does not fall into the propaganda, to the stupidity of the internet, or the so-called influencers that I dislike so much. All that. Real people, like whoever's watching this, that really cares about things, that there is not like the Matrix, just that idea, that's one idea. I think things will be different, and it is not because I want to feel important. I'm not even talking about myself. Share the idea with anyone as your idea if you want to. One small act for 8 billions. You just think about it, and you will see, like, you will realize how powerful we are as human beings, and the lies that they say that no human being is change the world. Well, that's a lie. A small action even as that can bring so much good into the world. Maybe can even change the climate change forever. 8 billion trees in a few short span of time. I think it will heal the planet. And if you multiply that for a long time, I've seen studies that say that that will mitigate the climate change a lot. Just 8 billion trees, 8 billion trees in a small, well, it will be a short span of time, because, well, I don't think 8 billion people can synchronize or coordinate for everyone, absolutely everyone without exception, do it at the same day. It will be very difficult, but you can put in the right dimension the impact that we have as human beings. And like Dr. Stephen Greaves says, it's very rarely when governments fix things. Most of the things that are fixed comes from people, from us. Nelson Mandela is one example. He first destroyed the slavery, and then he became president. But he first um, talked about ending slavery, and he did end the slavery. He changed things, but he was a person like you and me, just one person, and another person's united with him because it was a good cause. And after he was president, not before, he did not fix slavery being president. He first pushed from the ground, and then he became president, and now we end up the rest of the story. But that's the reality. But anyways, I'm gonna finish this one. 11 and 21 minutes, and I see you in the next one, maybe tomorrow, and I don't know what time, maybe in the night as well. I'm gonna try to keep more English streams like this one to express some things in English for maybe more person, maybe more people can understand the message in English. Maybe can inspire many more people. I don't know. That's not the point. I'm just trying to put this in my social media, in my space, as an how do you say it, as an not register, but as showing what is going on in the world at this point in time, what important and relevant parts of information I think is happening in the time as I speak, and even to put us on precedent. I spoke about these things in that name, and to put it in the spotlight for me, at least, and for my people that sees this and reflect the reality as I see it, maybe, and trying to put something that can make you reflect on things and can put people and to me to see how things developed in time and what happened in certain point in time, and maybe as a video recording of events that happened in terms of politics and changes that are happening in the world with Ukraine, with transparency in Mexico, security initiatives and changes, and important aspects happening in the world, in the United States and Mexico specifically, but also in other areas of interest of mine. But that's it. So if anyone comes to see this, well, it's not my purpose to the thing of the views and all this stuff. I don't care about that stuff. I only care about having this register of all these situations happening, to maybe express my point of view on some things, and to leave it as a follow up of so many stuff, and maybe sometimes to put to say some things that I think that are wrong, to say it public, a backup publicly where I say something that it was not okay, was suspicious or whatever, and to have it as a follow-up. So that's it, and I see you in another time.